Hello! Welcome back to Voluminum. This is episode 23. I'm here in the end, finally doing some work. I've put off doing anything here for a while now. I've really got burnt out on mining endstone, unsurprisingly. So, behind me here, you can see I have done something, and I have to say this is definitely a learning process. So, late last night, I got to laying down some blocks and had an idea to make a dispenser grid. Since I'm not duping TNT, it doesn't mean I can't use TNT though. So I crafted up 17 or 18 stacks of dispensers. And from my testing in another world, spacing them 4 blocks apart generally got mostly everything. But if we look over here, it didn't really with these here, and this is just, I'm just gonna go in free cam, it's easier. So I stopped. I wanted to see what it would do basically instead of doing everything at once. I wanted to just do a section at a time and see how it went. So I did this section here starting from there, and I mean, it got rid of a lot, it did, but it also left a lot. I mean, this is like, it's going to be still a lot of work just to remove all of these. Even though there, not many blocks left, they're just so spaced out. And so unfortunately, I think I was wrong in my initial test. Is 4 blocks apart seemed okay. I tested it in a test world for I don't know, maybe 5 minutes, and it seemed like it got everything. But once I didn't do a large area like this. I just did 2 by 2, and it did well. I thought it would do the trick, but evidently not. So I think the plan now is going to be going along each line here in the grid and ripping out. I'll keep this middle row starting from here, but oh, did I just click on that in free cam? Whoa, that's weird. Because I'm clicking over here, but it looks like, okay, whatever. I'm just, alright. I think that's must be a 1.16 tweakeroo bug. I wonder if I can mine it. Doesn't seem like it. Okay, anyways. Yeah, I'll start with this one here, and then I'm just going to space them every 2 blocks, I think, is going to be the way to go, where it should get everything, mostly everything. It will probably leave some things, because endstone is just so durable. It's got so much, is it toughness? What's the stat? It's hardness, I think it is. So I'm going to go out, starting from this one, break that, break the dispenser, just move it back a couple, and then I'll have to double up. So I need to craft another 17 stacks, because I'm going to need probably the twice amount that I've laid down here. But I think it's going to come along pretty well, and it actually didn't take too long just to do this grid here and section it out. And now that I got an idea of how it's going to go, like I said, all I got to do is just rip the ones I have in here out and space them 2 blocks apart instead of 4, and I think we can get the whole island that way. So that takes away me having to mine all of it, because I really underestimated how long it was going to take. This is basically where I stopped. I could not mine anymore. It was too grueling, just mentally wore me out. But yeah, that's the situation here on Project Veer, because I just took damage by hitting this repeater. What the heck? I really want to go ahead and get the main storage up and running, because I got a lot of projects that I want to start on, but the storage at my base, the mini storage right now, is not doing it. The multi-item sorter was a good idea in hindsight, I think, but it is serving only minimal purpose and not really practical at this point, because actually, instead of me rolling around in here in the end, I'll just go over here and show you. Alright, back over here in the base. So there's the multi-item sorter, and here are more chests that I've basically resorted back to, because there were so many items that just took up so many spaces. I had to dedicate a double chest to it, and I had to even add more. So somehow I went from this wall of chests originally to adding a multi-item sorter, then adding the chest back here and some more, and it is now like made storing things like less efficient somehow. I don't know. I think it's probably my fault the way I organize things. This multi-item sorter seemed like a good idea in hindsight, but it hasn't really panned out to be something that's that helpful. Anyways, moving on from this, yeah, I really want to go ahead and get the main storage set up, so I don't have to worry about that, and there's some more projects I want to get going. But as you remember last episode, I was going to finish the XP furnace array. That was what I was working on, because we needed to mine out the area for the forge and get our creeper farm and sand farm up and running so we can get tons of TNT for the end. Now you see I've got some TNT here. I have done a lot of crafting with the sand I've gotten so far, and gunpowder. Currently, the mob farm is running, just this normal one right here that I've had since like the week 1 of the world, and I've had a bot there AFKing for a couple nights now just to get tons of gunpowder. But let's go back here and see where I went crucially wrong in the XP furnace array experiment. Oh god. Yeah, my switch is not on, so let's go up here. So first glance, as you can see, the roof is gone on this thing. I completely overlooked the fact that bamboo needs light to grow. And quite a bit of it. So instead of figuring out a glass type decoration roof, I just tore the whole thing off and gave it kind of a border rim of stairs and slabs. And honestly, I don't plan on doing anything else to it. Bamboo's just taking up most of the view in here anyway. I don't need to do anything fancy to the walls, I don't think. This is just what it's going to be. And I can still come up here and, watch if I want to watch. Over here, I made a kelp farm, a rather large kelp farm. Now this is one Omengo showed off not too long ago, and it's just got some sweepers on both ends that act just like the ones in this bamboo farm do. And when the kelp breaks, oh dear lord, there's some creepers in here. When the kelp breaks, it floats to the top and goes to the middle, and then down along here. Let's turn gamma on so we can see. Transports it all the way up this and into the XP furnace array. Now, I did do as I planned and had 27 on this side, 27 on that side. So, this works. It's so frustrating. So as you can see, all the kelp is coming in nice. I've got the bamboo turned off for now because all these furnaces are full. Let's go over there. Actually kind of scared. I'm going to just fly up so I can make that creeper despawn because it's kind of scaring me. Yeah, let's just fly up here. Alright. I don't want any creepers walking around while I'm looking at this thing. I did no sort of decorating really. And I don't even know if I will at this point. So this XP furnace array, same one I built on the Ingenium server when we were digging our Crawled Witch Hut perimeter. It works great. You smelt a certain amount of items that fills up this dropper, the hopper here, and the furnace, and then it will shut off. And then you walk up to it, take the smelted items out, and then hit the button so it can empty it all out and start again. So you may be wondering, well, where did this go wrong? What's wrong with this? It looks fine. Well, that's what I thought too, until I realized that kelp gives you 0.1 experience smelted. 0.1. And with this setup here, you will not... I would have to smelt 10 times the amount of items, so I would have to add, I don't know, a lot more droppers here, or hoppers, or add more storage per slice, so it would smelt that. This furnace would have to smelt 10 times the amount of items for this machine to work, and that is not ideal. for at least this setup that I have here. This needs cactus. Now, I started to build a cactus farm. The ones that I had planned originally, I was going to build some cactus towers. And I quickly got frustrated at building it because you need to have a layer, you have a slab or something or a block to put cactus on, then you need to go up a block to the side of it and put something where it'll break off when it grows. But you also need to have it in a specific layout to where when the cactus pops off, it isn't going to go onto the cactus below it or to the side or get caught on the sand block next to it, and it's just really frustrating. So I had actually built up one, I don't know, to there from the ground where the kelp farm is now. And I was at the top and just there were so many blocks of kelp getting stuck or breaking off and going into the cactus below it. And it seemed like I was losing more cactus than I was actually getting out of it. So I was like, oh, okay, I'm just going to forego cactus. I'll just do kelp. Kelp seems like a much better idea. I could do it the same way I did the bamboo farm. As far as efficiency goes, it seems like that would be the way to go. And I completely overlooked the fact that you use cactus because it gives you 1 XP per cactus smelted, opposed to kelp gives you 0.1. I don't know what I said to you about an XP furnace array, but this isn't that. This is a dried kelp farm, okay? We're going to completely disregard any intention I had of making this an XP furnace array, because that is not what this is. This whole project here is now a dried kelp block farm, and I don't want to hear anything otherwise, because that's what this is. Because that's all it functions as now. And I don't know if I'm going to make this look any better than it is now, because frankly, after I realized the crucial mistake that I made, I was so frustrated that I almost didn't set up this little storage down here for the dried kelp and crafting, because I almost just put it all into lava. I was so frustrated. But now, so I take the dried kelp out, hit the button, and it dispenses all the dried kelp below. So quickly, after 54 furnaces that have smelted, let's see, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 stacks of dried kelp. I don't know, 15 times 54, whatever that is. It's dropping them, and they're all coming down here, and it is putting out an enormous amount of dried kelp. So I've got dried kelp blocks for whatever I want to use those for. Tons of them. This is an unintentional dried kelp block farm. I don't have to do anything. Bamboo grows, the kelp grows, these furnaces smelt it all automatically. I don't need to fuel anything. I just need to come over here and hit the button, and it'll go over here, and all I gotta do is craft it up into blocks. At least for now, this project is done. I may go in and add some cactus towers to actually have a furnace array work. Maybe I'll stockpile some dried kelp blocks, a couple shulker boxes of them if I ever want to use those. But I'm not ripping out the kelp farm. This will stay. But in the future, I might come over here and add a few cactus towers, maybe over there. And that way, this will actually work. But we're going to move on from this. I'm no longer interested in making an XP furnace farm now. But for now, I'm going to work on Project Veer because I want to get this main storage up as soon as possible. So what I'm going to do is clear out all of this junk in stone here, at least up to where the section that I started on, rip out these dispensers and add them to this row. I'll have to craft up a bunch more and get this grid going, and maybe even make a time lapse out of the island being destroyed. And hopefully the island is destroyed. And then I don't have to go through mining tons more. I mean, I'm this close to enabling movable tile entities, I swear, because yeah, this has been quite a headache, and I'm just going to chip away at it like I have been, and we'll see where the rest of the episode goes, I guess. Welcome back to my hell. To my living hell. It's actually not that bad. I've done a second round of bombings with all the dispensers 2 blocks apart now, and taken another chunk off the end island. Hopefully I'll remember to put up some screenshots. I haven't done a time lapse of this because like I said, the way I do them, I don't use replay mod. I have to use my second account and have a second instance of Minecraft open, and it's just kind of a hassle sometimes. So I neglected to do that with this project, Project Veer, that is, because I knew how long this would take, and I didn't want crazy amounts of video recording that I would have to skim through and go through and edit and trim down hundreds of hours that's going to be gone into this now. So I figured screenshots would suffice, at least screenshots, so we can kind of see some before and after things going on here. But yeah, didn't put dispensers out here on this end, so I'm having to mine this manually, but it's really not that bad, at least now that I've got them 2 blocks apart. It may be a couple hundred, 500 blocks max maybe of Instone after that, and let's see, let's just fly up. I've gotten to about halfway through the island actually, with spacing them back apart 2 blocks apart. And so my plan is, now that I've gone over this section here, I'll take all these dispensers down, take all the TNT out that wasn't used, and put them in the next row and do this row. Because I try and fill a stack up in each dispenser, but it doesn't use that much. Like I said, it normally goes about 45, 50 TNT to reach the very bottom and the deep parts of the island, and the rest is much less. So we don't have to craft up as much TNT if I do it in sections like this. So I'm just gonna keep at it. Alright, welcome back once again, and made more progress. I've actually gotten to over the middle part of the island now. So we are on the way to removing the whole island. I've done a pretty good job at destroying my beacon down there, unfortunately, but I've got plenty more, so it isn't a big deal. Plenty of more iron too. Actually only destroyed 1 beacon, right? Let's see. Yep, 1 beacon gone forever. And yep, like I said, I've got some remnants of end stone here I need to take care of. I can't land on any. Yeah, I've got to remove what's left here under that bedrock around the end portal. I might remove some of that bedrock, by the way. And I've actually had a lot more thought about these pieces of bedrock. I've ran into them too many times, and I might end up just removing them now instead of making them part of the island. But I don't know. I think once I get the build up and going, I'll remove them later if I choose to, or leave them up and incorporate them in the big island build. Who knows? But for now, I'm just going to keep blowing this thing up and get it gone, because I want to start building the main storage. So right now, I'm sort of at an impasse. I'm limited by the amount of TNT I have, so I'm waiting for more gunpowder from the general mob farm. I really need my new creeper farm up and running, but that would take time as well. Setting up the perimeter, flattening / lighting up, building the farm and adding storage. That's time I could be getting gunpowder from the general mob farm. But the new one would be much faster. So I'm kind of stuck in this weird spot. I'm just going to have to end up mining more endstone if I really want to get this done. Good news is I've gotten this down pretty well, and that I know it takes about half a stack of TNT to clear out the biggest parts of the island, and about 15 to 20 TNT for the outer edges. So what I've been doing is just using a button to activate the grid and just do it layer by layer. Then when I see some chunks have been cleared out under the outer edges, I'll go and remove them from the redstone line, or just take the TNT out. This is for sure making the process take longer, but I'm saving TNT by not putting the grid on a clock and just letting it run. This is probably a unique process for the end island, and not if you were using a dispenser grid for a perimeter in the overworld. In that case, as long as you've cleared out liquids and any immovable blocks, you could run that on a clock and not waste any, since there's a bottom in the overworld. So, is this worth it? The resources I've used on dispensers, the time it's taken to build the grid twice, the amount of TNT required to get the job done. Is it worth it over just mining it all? I would say no. It's simply not worth it. But it's been much less mundane, and using TNT is always fun. So if I were to do this again, I would probably end up doing it the same way. Halfway mining it and halfway dispenser grid. I've got to tell you, I've been so tempted to just build a 3D duper and clear it out in a couple hours. But that's the exact reason I don't and will not dupe TNT in the world. It forces me to come up with some other solutions and make things a little more interesting. If I could just run a duper over the island and be done with it, sure, it would be a lot easier and faster, but again, that's why I'm not doing it. I've made single player worlds in the past, and if you do everything the most efficient way possible, eventually it gets too boring and you lose motivation. I wish there was more to show off, and I hate saying that this is where it ends, but this is going to be it for this episode. An unfinished end island removal. But I did miss an episode last Friday, so I want to get one out this Friday for sure. And at any rate, this is just a progress update, if anything. But hopefully, by the next episode, on schedule, this island will be removed, and we'll make progress towards building the main storage. But that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.